Well, hi guys. You know you're here because Mrs. Stewart wants to have you do a research project soon. And the results of the pre-test she gave you last week show that we need to have a little chat about copyright and how to fairly use resources from the internet and from printed sources. Here are the results from your pre-test. So for number one, posting a video to YouTube that your friend sent you is okay. 85% of you agreed. Number two, you are allowed to download a song and send it to your friends. 70% of you said that was right. Number three, all students can copy paragraph from a book to use as an introduction to an English paper. 50% of you said that was true. Number four, if you post a picture to Instagram that your friend gave you permission to post and gave them credit, then it's okay. 90% of you agree. Number five, anyone can download a video online and share it to their friends as personal property. Half of you agreed. As we go through the following presentation, keep this pre-test in mind, and also keep in mind that you will be doing a presentation from Mrs. Stewart using correct copyright guidelines. So, this guide is to keep you out of trouble. We don't want you to end up in this situation. You wanted to see me, Miss Kelly? Yes, Susie. I wanted you to know that I really liked the paper you turned in this week. Well, that's great, but why didn't I have a grade like everyone else? Well, I liked your paper, but I also liked the websites that you cut and pasted your essay from. What? How did you know? I'm a teacher, sweetie. I know all. Well, I guess teachers don't really know all, but we do know how to use the internet to search and make sure that everything that you turn in is your own work. So don't let this happen to you, or Copyright 101. Copyright refers to the legal rights to an original work. You can think of it as the right to copy something. It's a legal term, as in courts and judges and fines and jail. So you got to be careful with this. Without copyright laws, writers, artists, and media producers would not receive the compensation they deserve for their creations. It's easy to believe that you're not hurting anyone by using their picture or video without permission. But some artists are struggling to get started, and others work for huge companies where copyright protects not only the head honchos at the top, but a lot of other lower level employees. Bottom line, copyright protects people who make their living from doing something creative and selling it. Stealing their work is like stealing their money, and it is not a victimless crime. Punishment for what? I'll tell you what. It is possible to receive fines of $750,000 to $250,000 and prison time of up to 5 years. Yes, I said prison. And yes, those are the right amount of zeros on those fines. You can get into grown-up trouble by breaking these laws. Judges will not accept excuses like, but I didn't know, or that band is rich, they don't need me to buy their song. They won't accept those. They will not take it easy on you for those. So, I can't use anything from the internet? Of course you can. There is hope. Public domain, royalty-free, and fair use are your friends. Public domain are pieces of work that are not copyrighted for some reason. They could be too old. They may be just not copyrighted. The person who made it wanted it to be free. And these are sources you can use and change however much you like. Royalty-free does not mean the Queen has died. Royalty-free sources can be things like media collections full of songs or pictures that students can freely use in their presentations. These are usually subscription services that the district pays for. You can find them on your school library homepage. But be careful. Just searching the internet for royalty-free objects may find you things that are royalty-free for some people, but not for you, because you're not added to that database subscription list. So if you're in doubt, ask your teacher or librarian. The Life is Fair Use policy. Fair use is a student's best friend. But wait, there are restrictions, of course. You can use it for educational purposes only, and you can only use small portions of it, and you have to properly cite it, and tell who owns the copyright. There are 4 basic rules to living the copyright way for fair use. Number 1, it can't be used to get you money. Okay? Non-profit only, educational in nature. Those are all good. You cannot use something where the intended audience impacts the rules. If, for instance, something is made for education already, you can't really use it for an educational purpose and say that's fair use, because, yeah, you'd be stealing their sales. The amount you use is important. You can't use a whole chapter of a book, but maybe some quotes from it here and there would be all right. Your fair use of the material shouldn't make fewer people buy the original. You don't want to impact the potential sales. All right, changes. That's an old song. Ask your parents about it. All right. The originators of copyrighted material are granted the sole right to make derivatives of the original work. A derivative is a new version of the original with some changes. This is a biggie for us. We all love to change things, to make them funny, to make new formats we can use easier, add subtitles. All of those are examples of changes that you should not be making. These are some others. Changing one format of media into another, like a VHS tape into a DVD. Ask your parents what VHS means. Scanning a book page so it'll be electronically available to you, or downloading a video from the internet and using it to make your own copy and edit and changes. So YouTube is not your tube. YouTube is full of videos that could possibly be copyright violations, and the staff is constantly fielding complaints and taking them down. So don't let yours be one of them. Some use of copyrighted material can be protected by fair use on YouTube, but they do review each case separately. What can you put on YouTube? Well, you can upload your own original recordings. Be careful. If you put up a recording with a copyrighted material in the background, like a video of you at the school dance, and there's music in the background, that would be a violation. You can upload friends' videos with their permission. Be careful, they can take their permission back. Downloading videos from YouTube is not allowed due to their terms of service. Shall we have some music? Grumpy Cat says no. Music is highly regulated, and we're not kidding about that. The music mafia will come after you. Fair use allows students and educators to use about 10% of a song. That's only 18 seconds of a 3-minute song. Some schools even limit that. Ours says only 10 seconds of a song should be used. Other examples of no-nos: making a mixtape, making a CD with all the songs you love and giving it to a friend. Making an arrangement, like mash-up mix-ups of music, performing the musical work publicly without permission. So next time you're at the mall, don't sing that Justin Bieber song that you love so much. Copywritten music. If you really like that song you did in orchestra, you're not allowed to copy the music and keep it. The most common example here is downloading music from the internet without paying or sharing copies with your friends. You've got to be careful with that one. A 12-year-old girl in New York was sued by the music industry for downloading illegal copies of songs. She is one of many who has been sued, and you can be as well. Does this picture make me look like a criminal? It might. You have to follow these rules here. You aren't allowed to make copies of photos taken by someone else. Especially those professional photography photos you get of the volleyball team, or the yearbook pictures, or your family portraits that you have done. Those are all copyrighted. You purchase a copy. You do not purchase the copyright. So taking a picture of it and uploading it online is a copyright violation. Making changes to someone else's pictures can be a copyright violation. You gotta be careful. The owner still owns the right to all derivatives. But these are my own words. One of the most common mistakes we see in our classes is students copying things for their research projects. Be careful to paraphrase or use your own words when writing a paper, using research from other sources. If you use copy and paste, if you copy it directly word for word, that is not paraphrasing. That's copying, that's plagiarism. You have to carefully cite your sources on a reference list at the end of your paper or project. You have to copy every single thing you use, every resource, and put it on that reference page. The first thing you're going to do next week for your research project is learn to use Citation Machine and EasyBib to make this. This is my reference page. These are the references I used to make this presentation for you guys. And that's what you will have at the end of yours. All right, now that you've had some exposure to copyright, we're going to let you discuss some scenarios involving copyright to use in your groups. Mrs. Stewart is passing out the handout you will need to take with you and use for reference on your project, and you'll need to use it today as well. Each group will be assigned a scenario. You're going to discuss it in your group and then share with the class the following. What should the person have done or should not have done to make this a better, more legal scenario? And where on the handout do you see something that supports your decision? Mrs. Stewart will give you a copy of the scenario that you are assigned. Here are the 4 scenarios. Scenario 1. Kathleen bought a music CD and downloaded a favorite song onto her phone. She then shared the song with her 5 best friends. She knew that this would be okay since all of her friends do the same thing all the time. Scenario 2. Andrew went with his friend Juan to a sporting event. While they were there, both boys were taking pictures using their phones. Andrew really liked the pictures that Juan had taken. He asked him to share some of them with him since Andrew was not very good at photography. Andrew then posted one of the pictures and stated that he had a great time at the game. Everyone was commenting on his post. Juan was feeling betrayed when he saw the pictures and comments on their social network. Andrew was getting all the credit for the photos that he had not taken. Scenario 3. Melanie had studied very hard for an upcoming social studies test. Her mom had bought her a study guide workbook on the States. Her friends wanted to use her workbook too. She decided to help them out by going to the local copy store and making 3 copies of the workbook to give to them. Scenario 4. Arturo is a great artist. He is always drawing wonderful pictures during class time. Mr. Roberts, the ELAR teacher, gave the students a book report to complete on any book of their choosing. Sandra, who knew what a great artist Arturo was, asked him to make her book cover design. She then turned it in as her own project. Mr. Roberts gave Sandra an A+ for her outstanding work. She never told Mr. Roberts that Arturo had drawn the picture on her cover page. Now that you've heard the 4 scenarios, I'm going to give your group some time to decide what the person should have done better and find in the handout a part that supports your decision. We will pause here for you guys to make your presentations. After the presentations. Good job, guys. I think every single group did a great job. You all told us exactly what the person should have done, and you pointed out in your handout where it happened. Now, this about wraps up this little class, but for your exit ticket, we're passing out a copy of the pre-test you took last week. You saw at the beginning of class what your answers were, and during the presentation we covered every one of these topics. So please put your answers for this post-test, and we will make sure that you have all gained an understanding of copyright and how it will affect you. Thank you for coming, and I hope to see you all here more.